Impressa, who's in my Discord and also a prolific poster over on the farms. I'd happened to see, I don't know if it's actually a female or not, because I never heard him speak, but they seem to be a female. I'm not sure, but I saw that they had posted that yeah, it'll kill you if you take or can kill you if you take an opioid with it. But was it naltrexone? I think's the name. But that ain't gonna happen because I don't like opioids, and but anyway, really. Well, then whose post was that? Oh, it was Pale Empress. That was somebody else. I'm not on the farms anymore, boss. Josh hates me. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot you got kicked off. For what reason, by the way? Impressive says he is petty, not much to it. Yeah, well, he is petty, and he's dumb as a rock. And he's been spending, I don't know, well over a year saying that I don't love my daughter, that I deny my daughter. Rosanna Ralph is her name. And I was there when she was born, despite the false reports on Kiwi Farms. I watched her be born. I actually took a photo and posted it on Twitter. You can't find it now because I cleaned up my tweets, but it's somewhere on that shithole website right after she was born, maybe like 5 minutes after she was born. So, yes, I was there when she was born. I was there for several days after. So she was born on the 23rd. And I had an event on I think it was April 2nd. I don't know. It was April something. I believe. I don't know. I'd have to look up the time for Kingpin 2. I did have to leave earlier than I wanted because I had an event with tickets sold. And no, I wasn't going to cancel that event because I would have had to refund everybody all that money. And, you know, I'm sure people would have probably been understanding. But, you know, I got the okay. From her mother. I'm sure some people might not have liked it or whatever, but I was there when my daughter was born. That's incorrect. I have been prevented for officially it was a year, but actually a year and a half because it was temporary. And the same rules are in effect when it's temporary, that you can't speak about my estranged wife or my daughter, which the second part I thought was actually unfair, but that's just how it was. And so I'm not gonna like abuse the privilege. I don't want anybody to harass my estranged wife. I do still love her and wish her well. I don't expect any reunions or anything like that, but you know, I've seen jokes made and songs played as a joke and stuff like that, but I mean what I say right there. So I've been forbidden from acknowledging my daughter, and so he's made up that I don't love my daughter because she's a female, which couldn't be further from the truth. I love both of my children. He's turned his website into this feminist hub, which is just an absolute fucking shithole disaster. And so I guess he's trying to play up to the feminists or whatever, but I love my daughter from the very first moment I saw her until the very last time I saw her, and even onwards when I haven't been able to see her since June 2023 and haven't seen a picture or an update or any type of information about her since July 2023. So that's the status on that. And not to, you know, I don't think that that's something that's cool. You know, of course, I've seen my son. I have an agreement for all that. I do intend to pursue an agreement of a similar nature to see my daughter, and I don't think that there'll be any problems in that happening. Will it be restricted or what? I don't know. I really think it's a different situation. So, but we'll see. You know, I would rather not get lawyers involved. Technically, I can contact so and so, and you know, maybe something could be worked out without that. I don't know. That's all speculation. It really shouldn't be speculated about on air anyway. But I do fully intend to be involved in my daughter's life, and I have not lost my parental rights, and it's almost impossible to do so. But the reason you have heard me not say her name is because I was legally forbidden from saying her name, not because I didn't love her or had forgotten about her. Far from the truth. And, technically I could, you've seen pictures of her before. I could pull those up now. The last picture I have of her, we went to the zoo. I bought her a zebra. It's one of the cutest pictures of all time. I'm not going to do that because, it's just bait for people to use to try to maybe try to get me in trouble or say I'm flaunting the
Simon
ability
Scola
to
said
do so.
$5 honestly always liked the smaller PPVs compared to most WrestleManias. 2007 to 2010 era was so good. You ever heard of Super Hummin'?
Super Hummin'. I don't know, but you're right. Sometimes WrestleMania is a letdown, and then sometimes it's all-time epic. But it's always WrestleMania, the spectacle. I was at WrestleMania 35. Not the best WrestleMania, but a couple great matches on there. Batista's last match, which wasn't really that great, honestly, but Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan was great. The main event, the first female main event there, that was kind of a letdown. Super Hummin'. I see his channel now. Extreme Trampoline Stunts. Maybe we could pull that up at some point, but no, I hadn't heard of them. But anyway, I'm not going to go into what might happen as far as getting to see my daughter and all that. I'm quite certain that I will be able to. And this will probably be the last time that I talk about it. But I have been forbidden from talking about it until April 18th, which is today. And I put out a message on Twitter on April 18th. What was it? 12:16 a.m. on April 18th. Fully within the order. And so I said my free speech rights have been restored. I haven't seen my daughter Rosanna in almost 2 years. No updates, nothing. Now that's, take that for what you will. I didn't care for it. I don't think most fathers would care for it. But also, obviously there's some bad blood there. And so I get it. I get wanting to, I'm speculating, punish me or whatever, or think that I don't deserve that, or whatever the reasoning behind that was. But I've not heard anything about my daughter, no pictures, no nothing, no hey. And the other party was not restricted from sending me any information, or I would be restricted from talking back to them. But so make of that what you will. Some people who hate me will say that's a good thing. Even some people who do hate me, I've seen say that they didn't care for that. But regardless, I kind of made my own bet on that, and it is what it is. But anyway, I'll finish my statement here. I do not blame my estranged wife. I blame myself for things not working out, even though there were other forces wanting the outcome clearly. And I won't name any names, but everybody knows. There were, and the text messages are out there put out by the guy himself, collaborating with another person and yet another person in the mix to tank the relationship. But at the end of the day, it was me who tanked that relationship, not them. So, I say this here. It was on me in the end. I had the winning hand and I wasted it. I had the winning hand. I was always going to prevail if I had just done the right things. And our last visit went great, and I was on a good track, and then I wasn't. And so, that's something that does bother me, because it's like, I had the winning hand, and I know I would have gotten my family back, and it's been a struggle. It's hard to deal with. I didn't move down here to live alone. I moved down here with my family. And no, I didn't move down to isolate anybody. There's been some people who said that. Now I moved down here to get away from crazy people. Actually, you can quite easily go back to the United States and see your family anytime you want. So I don't know. Looking back, would I have moved everybody down to Mexico and all that stuff? Maybe not. I think it was harder on my estranged wife, and I can say her name, by the way. I'm just not going to. I think it was harder on her than I realized at the time. She was doing a lot. She had just had our daughter. She was doing, all the housework. Now I was working and providing and paying all the bills, and that stroller that got lost. No, I bought a new stroller. It wasn't anybody else but me. I bought the last time I saw her, I bought one of these giant, like it wasn't even a stroller. It's like one of these mega, like I don't even know what you call them, but it holds like 2 or 3 kids if you want, like their friends and everything, and brought that to upstate New York. So no, I paid for everything. I paid the rent. I paid for the food. I paid for the clothes. But I still could have done more to make it easier on her. I didn't realize at the time that you can just send all your clothes off, for instance, to be washed for a very cheap price in Mexico. Maid could have been hired for a very cheap price. I look back at it now and I see that there were several things I could have done that I just didn't even think about because I was selfish and it just didn't even enter my mind. And also I was and still am, I hate to put it all on this, but, my mom dying and then my dog dying, just bringing all that back, kind of just threw me off the mental cliff, to be honest. But looking back, I could have made things a lot easier on my estranged wife. And I wish I had done that. But my mind wasn't in the right place. And, even having said all that, I had the winning hand. If I could have just stayed clean, stayed with the good visits, I had another visit scheduled. And, I don't know. It's something I've thought about a lot. And I'm not going to spend the whole show on it because it's kind of a downer, right? But I just wasn't thinking that way. And I should have been. I wasn't thinking about how hard it was on my estranged wife. I was in my own head how hard it was on me, and my dog died in the kennel when we went to Cuba, and all this stuff happened, and poor me, and that was my dog with my mom, and all this stuff starts coming back, and then I got on the pills, and then got off with my estranged wife's help, and no matter what I could ever say about her, and I'm not saying anything bad about her, she got me through the time that my mom died. And that's something I can never take away from her. She's responsible for me being alive, actually, because I don't think I would have wanted to live if I didn't have her during that time. So that's something that I'll always be grateful to her for, and I'll say that live on air. I think our last visit was awesome, probably our best little vacation ever, actually, which is ironic, I guess. But I can never take that away from her, and I'm eternally grateful to her for that, because there would be no Rosie. There would be not that wouldn't exist, because I wouldn't have existed, because I didn't want to live at all. And so no matter, I've been a little bitter, I guess you could say, about not knowing anything about my daughter. But I can see her reasoning as well, and why she might feel that way. And I know there's some bad blood, and I didn't come out here to trash her, and I'm not going to do that. In fact, I came out here to praise her and criticize myself. But anyway, my head wasn't in the right spot. I didn't think about the things I could have done to make things better and easier on her, and how hard it is in general. Once the postpartum stuff, and what she was dealing with, I was too caught up in the life we had before, and it's totally different when you have a child and you have a family. And I was too caught up in the way we lived before, and we went all over the country, and we did Stop the Steal, and she was in a lot of ways the perfect partner for me, honestly. Um, Perhaps too indulgent in some peccadillos, but we really did make a great team. But once a child enters the equation, it changes the dynamic. And I didn't adapt, and I didn't think about the things I could have done to make it easier on her. I was still in Killstream mode. I still want this. I still want that. Um, you know, there's some things I could get into. I know that recording, which is not admissible anyway, but like people don't really understand. It was definitely not my best night, but it's crazy recording. But it's like I was actually in my mind. It was like I said this. I was like I just want to give her a hug, really, and because you could feel the bond breaking, right? And that's not the best way to try to get somebody to give you a hug, to take that type of temperament. But the way it's been portrayed as I, did something to physically harm her on that occasion, that's not true. There's never been any charge put forward towards that, and so I'm sorry for that happening. I apologize for it publicly. It wasn't the right way to treat anybody, much less your wife. So, I don't know. I look back on our time together, and she really was a good wife and a great partner, and we did a lot of cool things all over the world, and especially the country, and this country too. And so I blew it. I don't blame her. So this is me taking responsibility, even though I'm fully aware there were forces working against me too. But I still had them beat, right. Like, so I can't blame them. But I'll continue with my statement. I got off course. I really wasn't going to say all that, but I don't know. I just wanted to. I said I did say this earlier. I still love her and wish her the best. I simply want to move on and see my daughter. I helped raise her for a year, paid for her life, and was there when she was born. My name's on the birth certificate, all that. I was very present when she was born. Was there when she went into labor, and her water broke. And then during the show, when Adam Green was on the show, and then I finished the show and got in my car and drove up to New York. And stayed there for, I think it was like 5 to 7 days, something like that. And then I did go to Dallas, Texas, because I had an event scheduled. And some people said, well, maybe you should have canceled that, this or that. Well, I didn't. And, that was a decision that was jointly made. And originally we were going to get married at that event, actually. And so she couldn't go. Obviously, she just had the newborn, but she was scheduled to be there. It was I don't know. It was a big thing. I couldn't just cancel it in my mind. Looking back, maybe I could have. I don't know, but I was definitely there when my daughter was born. Because first off, how else would my name be on the birth certificate? And there's a tweeted picture that's somewhere in that thread where I literally posted right after my daughter was born a picture of her. So, which maybe I shouldn't have done. I don't know, but I have frequent documented visits with my son. None have been bad. They've all been glowing. In fact, there are written reports that show this. In my mind, there's no reasonable legal reason to prevent me from seeing Rosie. I love her so much. I've missed her every day since June 2023. And, Josh Moon, the complete fucking faggot loser that he is, saying that I denied my daughter, didn't care about my daughter. First off, you don't have any fucking kids because your dick don't fucking work, and you're never going to have any fucking kids because you're a fucking loser. And if you did have kids, I would fear for their safety, to be quite honest, as far as a few things go that I won't mention. But, I never had kids to embarrass Josh Moon. That's another part of the lore. I had kids because I wanted to have kids and always wanted to have kids. So I could care less. You know, I know his dick don't work and he's never going to have to worry about having kids. But no, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my whole fucking life. So I couldn't care less about him having kids. He can't have kids. He's like Cog. Like both these guys obsessed with my children. And neither one of them can have kids of their own. So, you know, I guess maybe that's why. Both of them completely obsessed with my kids because they can't have any. So I don't know. It's weird. He's been lying about me for a good almost 2 years about denying Rosie and this and that. Well, I had a court order said I couldn't talk about my daughter. Did I think that was great? No. And I'm not, because I don't want to, you know, criticize the court or whatever. That was the order. And I just really didn't even pay attention to that part of the order because it's more about my wife, really. And so I didn't even really realize what I signed on to, or I would have told my attorney to argue against that. At least let me be able to talk about my daughter. Like, what is this? But well, I didn't. So I miss my daughter every day since June 2023. I hope that in the near future this can be settled in a way that everyone can be comfortable with. I will never give up on any of my children, as I have proven with Alexander, also known as Xander. I'll be seeing him soon. So that's pretty much all I have to say on it. I hope it can be resolved. I don't have any. I'm not interested in arguing with Harry Morris. I'm sure he'll poke at me on Twitter or poke at me somewhere or whatever. He sent me an email a couple weeks ago. I have no interest in that. That's not my goal. Is to see my daughter again on as regular basis as I can. And so fighting with him, even though obviously I detest him. I mean, I'm just not gonna, there's no need to lie about that. As he detests me. So, but that doesn't matter. And focusing on that is not good for my daughter. And it goes with my son too. Of course, you know, the score with Vickers, but letting that take over too much of my mindset, is not good for the kids. And so, I'm not interested in fighting with him. It is true that I could have already filed an order for visitation and started that whole entire process. I saw somebody critique me for that. The reason I didn't do that is because I wanted this order to run out first. And there's many different reasons why you would want to do that. But I'm hopeful that it could actually just be negotiated without, you know, involving a bunch of attorneys. I don't know. I may reach out at some point soon to try to do that. I don't know if they'll be receptive on the other side. And, you know, I can't really control that. I cannot control what I'm doing now. And so, you know, we'll see. I hope that it doesn't have to, you know, involve a bunch of legal wrangling and all that. But if it does, then it will. I don't know. I'm not giving up on my daughter. I've not lost my parental rights. Her name has not been changed. They can't do that without notifying me anyway. That's another false thing that's been put out there. So as far as I know, which I would have to know, is the thing. So I don't know. It's just been a year and a half of just absolute torture, honestly. And not to make you feel bad for me, because I did it to myself. There's no doubt about that. But it's been really tough not to be able to address all this stuff and all these things all these other people say about it, and me not to be able to say anything about it. But that was me saying something about it. And so I think I probably said enough. And I'm going to leave it there. I said way more than I planned, and I knew that would happen if I read anything, if I didn't do this tweet. But those are my thoughts on the matter. And, you know, I do still love my wife, and I hope she's doing well. And we are still married, believe it or not. And so, you know, it's true. I could have started proceedings on my own, this and that, but I just want to let this order run out. it put you at a disadvantage for one. And I won't get into all the reasons why you would want that to run out first, but I'm hopeful. I'm looking forward to seeing my daughter, and I will. I mean, I know I will. There's murderers who get to see their children that they actually bring them to jail to see. So I'm not not one iota of me thinks I won't see my daughter again. Not 1%. I am 100% that I will see her again. So I look forward to that day. I do hope my estranged wife is doing well, and obviously I hope she's been taking good care of my daughter. I've said her name enough, and I'm sure she has. To be honest with you, because she was always a great mother, so I have no doubt that she has been. So that's my statement. My free speech has been restored, and I'm grateful to the state of New York for doing that. So we'll see where it goes from there. I don't plan on talking about it really anymore, but people would bring this stuff up to try to like own me, knowing I couldn't talk about it on air and stuff like this. Well, that's not the case anymore. But I'm also not looking to talk about it, right? Nobody harass my estranged wife. Certainly nobody harass Harry Morris, even though I do not care for him at all. As I said, don't harass any other members of his family. Don't contact them. Don't go looking for my daughter. Don't do any of that. Just leave it alone. Just saying this because it's all been out in the public and everybody else has gotten to have their say. And so I think it's only fair that now that I'm allowed to, that I have my say as well. So that's my say. And again, don't harass anybody. Don't go after anybody. Well, my statement here was not meant to harass. It was actually meant to be a mea culpa, really, in most ways, and to give you my thoughts on the matter. And I regret losing my family. I don't know what to say. Like, that sounds corny, I guess, but we had a lot of good times before we had a family and after, and some troubled times too, for sure. But Stop the Steal, we really, I guess, fell in love, and then she was by my side every single day while my mother was dying, and I can never take that away. To me, that's just as important as her giving me a daughter, because I've never suffered more in my life than I did during that time, and so I'll always be grateful to my estranged wife for that. So I thank her for that, and I thanked her for it before, but I'll say it again, and I'll end it on that note. Now, enough serious talk. I think you got the idea, and I got to say everything that I wanted to say, and there's really no reason to go into it too much further. If somebody else tries to bring it up or whatever, at least now I can speak on it. But I just told you everything I have to say about it, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm looking for good. I want to see good things happen, and so I'm not interested in any type of retaliation or attacks or whatever. I just miss my daughter, so that's just me being real, and take it or leave it. I feel like most people here can feel that I mean what I say. A person that really hates me is never gonna, believe anything I say or give me any credit for anything. So I'm not really worried about them. But I figured, the audience here hears things from other places, and they hear Josh Moon saying all this shit. That's never been the case. I never denied my daughter, and I love her just as much as my son. In fact, I watched her be born. And it's not that I love her more than my son, but it's almost like it's even a deeper connection on some level just because of that. And you ask, why didn't I get to see my son be born? Well, my mother died 11 days before, and I was, not in a very good place, and obviously had strife with that family. I wasn't sure how it would go if I went out there anyway. And I was like in a depressive state, doesn't describe it. And so I decided not to travel out there to see him be born. I'm not sure how it would have went if I would have. I think maybe I would have been allowed to, according to his mother, but she told me that it was fine, and she knew what kind of state I was in. I don't know what she thinks about it now, and I don't really care. But I do wish I was there when he was born, because it is different. Now, I've built up a great connection with him since, but it is different when you're there when they're born, and you see their development, day by day. And, I don't get that with my son. And that's a whole separate topic that I won't go into, but it is different. So yeah, you never forget watching your kid come into the world. Yeah, it's just something. If you've seen it, if you've experienced it, then you know. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. If you want to send in a song, I might have to play a song just to break that up a little bit. I don't know what I would play though. What would I play? I mean, I could just play Taylor. We're Taylor respecters here. Feel free to send in. We're not going to talk anymore about any of that. Thank you for listening to me.
Thanks for watching this video from Colonel J. My name is Moontrigger, and I approve this message. Remember to like and subscribe.